Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd do a sort of semi-regular update, or start to do an update of what's happening and what I've been up to. A lot of you have probably been following the Corvette build, which is still going on, but I thought maybe I'd shoot a video once in a while of other things. And it also gives me a little break of not working on the constantly soldering pieces of brass together. So as you can see, this is the IPMS magazine. It's the latest issue. It came the other day, and I've been in the IPMS for quite a few years now. In fact, many years. And but to be honest, I tend to just use it as a sort of way of getting into Telford in November, and occasionally, I haven't been in recently, but I've occasionally gone in for competitions there. But by and large, a lot of stuff that goes on in the IPMS passes me by. And the magazine itself, I mean, it's very well produced, and it's sort of high quality printing and everything. But it's just a mishmash of subjects. Sometimes the stuff that really interests me, other times, it's not so interesting. And I don't really know, if everybody else thinks that way. I mean, a lot of people don't buy magazines anymore. I certainly don't. Occasionally buy the odd copy of Tamiya magazine, maybe, if there's something in that interests me, but the majority of the magazines now, they've either gone, or the ones that are published, a lot of the stuff's on the internet, so I don't really sort of go in for them much now. That said, I did receive this in the envelope. I almost lost it because there was nothing to say it was in there. Let me just switch cameras. This sort of fell out of the envelope when I was about to throw it away. And it's like a little, well, it's not enameled, it's cast metal. And it's been sort of blackened to show up the detail. But it's a 60 years celebration badge from 2023. Now, bearing in mind we're in 2024, I don't know why it's taken 12 months to send these out, unless possibly, I mean, these might have been for sale maybe in Telford that year, and they've just had a load left over, so they've decided to dish them out to the membership. It's very nice. I don't think I'll be wearing it anytime soon, but it's just like a little sort of memento. Then it is quite well produced. So speaking of magazines, and anyone who's been watching the Corvette build, I came across this. I've got a load of magazines going way back, probably to the mid 70s, and to be honest, I need to start offloading them, really, because they just take up an awful lot of space, and I don't really look at them anymore, and a lot of what's in them doesn't really interest me anymore. However, I had a vague idea of when the Corvette was released by Matchbox originally. So I looked through the sort of 78, 79 magazines, and this is December 79. And if I turn to this spread here, there's a double page spread of the release of the original kit. And I thought it was interesting because these whenever they released a large kit, Matchbox used to get somebody who was in the IPMS to put the kit together, and obviously they were built straight from the box. They weren't done as a kind of super detail or any scratch building or anything. They literally just gave them the kit and they built it as it came. and as you can see, it did produce quite a nice kit, a nice model, sorry, even just straight out of the box. So this guy, what's his name, Julian Edwards, from IPMS Hampshire, put this together, gave his comments on it. But the thing that really interested me about this is that down here it says that the Matchbox model of the Flower class Corvette, recommended selling price £27.15. Now I did a bit of a conversion online, and £27.15 in today's money is about £128, £130. So it wasn't cheap back then. At the time, I was an apprentice, and I had a bit of cash to hand, but I certainly wasn't on that amount of money per week. So when I bought this originally, I think I must have had to have saved up for a couple of weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks to put the money together to buy this. So it was quite an investment at the time. But strangely, £128 is, I think, on a par with how much the Revell kit was retailing for when that was re-released with the photo etch, I think. So although they are going for a lot more now, because it hasn't been released for quite a while, and obviously people are trying to get hold of them, so the price has gone up. But it's interesting that all that time ago, it was considered the sort of top of their range. So there's another little bit of interest there. And then, still talking about the IPMS, I went along to the IPMS Lancs Kitswap today in Preston, and I've been there a few times, and I always tend to come away with something. It was a little bit quieter than I thought it was going to be. I've seen it busier. I think they do 2 a year, and I could have actually have taken some stuff along myself to shift, but I left it too late, and the guy never got back to me, so I just went and had a look around instead. But there was space. If it had turned up with the stuff, I probably could have, got a table anyway. So there's an awful lot of stuff for sale there, but I picked up a few items. This is one of them, and this is quite an interesting one, because I've seen this kit around. Just do something with that light, turn it around a bit. That's better. I've seen this kit around over the years, and I've thought, well, that'd make an interesting little piece with the interior in, and maybe I could put some lights in it and things like that. And it's a fairly simple kit, but I was under the impression that it was a much older kit, something dating maybe from the 60s, like some of the old Aurora kits and things like that that used to have these interiors. And when I looked it up on ScaleMate, it actually dates from 1992 as a new tool. So I'm quite surprised, really, that it's that recent. So having said that, maybe the mouldings are fairly decent inside. So I thought to do a little unboxing of the stuff that I bought. Let's have a look inside this box. I've not opened any of these, so I don't know. I was assured that all the parts were there, and I did have a sort of cursory glance. But it certainly looks complete. So there's an awful lot of plastic there, and it does actually look very well moulded. Is there anything? Yeah, I don't really want to take everything out of the bags just yet, but if I was to take a look at these parts here, let's just move that close-up camera back in again, and I'll switch cameras, and let's see if we can have a look at this. So if I just move that camera slightly, so let's get some light on it again. There we go. So as you can see on this, it is actually really well done. You can see these little grills here in the deck. Obviously, in this scale, 144th scale, it's the deck's not going to be perforated or anything like that. I'm not that familiar with this particular mark of U-boat. It's a Type 21, but again, there's some nice detail there, and a lot of it's recessed. There is a little bit of raised detail on these parts here, but as a basic little kit, there's some that looks like some kind of antenna, and there's some guns as well there. So just as a little out of the box build, nothing too complicated. It looks to be quite good. The instructions, they are the typical Revell instructions, and there's a quite a lot of interior parts to go. Oh, it's interesting. There's the nice shot there you go. There's the decal sheet. Obviously a lot of these are for the interior, but there's all those little tiny sort of control panels and things like that, which look really good for the scale. So I think a bit of careful painting and some light weathering, and then put these on, and they do look really nice. So and there's a little set of flags here as well, which are paper, and again, I mean, this must be it says 2012 on this particular sheet. I'm assuming a lot of these are, it's like a generic set, because there's Japanese flags and British flags and American flags on there. I'm not really sure how much of this would relate to the U-boat, and in fact the German flags don't have swastikas on anyway, so you'd have to, I suppose you could draw them in, I suppose. But a lot of these signalling flags look to be British, because they're not dissimilar. I mean, there's its big brother that came with the Corvette, so it looks very similar to that sheet. So it's an interesting little kit. So yeah, at some point I'll get around to putting that together. It might be a bit of relief from this ongoing massive project that I've got on with the Corvette. I'll just pop those away again. I'll put them back in the box in a moment. Another, sticking with Revell, I also picked this up, which is their Trabant kit. Now, interestingly, I've already got one of these, but it's a different scheme. Now, this is celebrating 25 years of the fall of the Berlin Wall, and they commissioned an artist, I'm not sure who, I'll have to read up on this, to do this for charity, and then I think they auctioned the car off, and it was to celebrate presumably reunification and stuff like that. And the other one that I've got, which is a little bit out of the way at the moment, and again it's unbuilt, is celebrating 20 years of the fall of the Berlin Wall. So it's interesting. This one came out in 2014. The other one would have come out in 2009. But strangely, for such a sort of unloved car, because there used to be all those jokes about Trabants and how poor they were. Interestingly, it's a really good kit. It's certainly up there with some of the Tamiya kits of a similar scale. It's 1/24th scale, and there's an awful lot of parts. You get a complete engine, and you get all these tiny little bits to go in the interior and the suspension. Yeah, I'd put it on a par with some of the Tamiya kits, like the Mini Cooper, things like that. You get some vinyl tires, which are there, and obviously some transparencies. What's here? Let's have a look at this. Oh, some leaflets as well. Right, so this leaflet here is, I'm assuming, the charity that benefited from the sale of, or the auction of the car. It's some kids charity. I don't speak German, so I'm not really sure what all that says. And you get a little car sticker if you want to stick it on your window. It'd be nice if you had a Trabant to put that in the window of. But the main feature of this kit is the decal sheet, and typically with Revell, I'm assuming these are maybe Cartograph. It says printed in Italy, so they probably are. You get this complete sort of, it's almost like a wrap for the car. It'd be interesting to see how this fits together, you know, whether you have to sort of touch in where the individual decals meet, because obviously if they overlap, you might end up with a dark line, and if they don't quite meet, you're going to have to touch in the colour to match whatever the colour is at the point where they don't meet. But this looks like it was maybe they photographed the original car, and then they've printed them. But you can see the detail on that. It looks fantastic. I know when I've done Revell kits before, when they've had these kind of wraparound designs, that they've actually fitted really, really well. They've got very little carrier film, and they tend to just sort of butt up against each other. So again, that's an interesting kit to build, and I do like to do these sort of oddities rather than just stick to one particular type of kit. There's some photos on the back of the box there. You can see that it shows the original car, and it does look to be extremely accurate to the original. The only thing I hate about Revell kits, as a lot of people do, is these open-ended boxes. Quite why they can't go to a tray type, I've no idea, but that's that. And then one other kit I picked up, and this was just hidden away amongst a load of bits and pieces, is this one. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, excuse me, what this is, it's made by Hawk Models, or originally made by Hawk Models. This is one of the Hawk models, and it's a San Francisco cable car in 1/48 scale. And this is I think this is the third issue of the original kit. The original kit came out in 1959, and this one dates from 1967, and they changed the box. The previous two had the same box with the big Hawk logo here, and I think that was reissued at some point not that long ago as a kind of like a throwback, like a bit like the Fix Vintage Classics, yeah, it's in pretty good shape considering it's so old. There's some sort of photos on the box there, and what's on the other side of these are some other kits they do. A Lysander, a Freedom Fighter, and a Bronco, an OV10. But the actual kit itself, there, I've built a few old Hawk kits in the past, a lot of them come like this. It's photos, it's not drawings. Now I did look up on ScaleMates, and it was reissued later on by testers, and they've got the testers instructions, which are pictorial. So I might print a set of the testers instructions off, because it's just going to be a bit easier to follow. This could be a nice little quick build, and the only thing that concerns me is the decals. They're still in the plastic bag. All the parts are still in the plastic, but as you can see, I'll lift this up. Oh, there's something else underneath. You can see that they've yellowed beyond use, really. So I might try and create my own. I mean, it'd be easy to sort of redo these, like the Pepsi advert and stuff like that, but these are going to take a bit of work, really. I think these should be, looking at the box, this yellow should actually be clear, maybe, I don't know, and the other bit white. It's hard to tell on this, but trick of, you know, taping them to the window and let the UV take care of this yellowing. But as to how stable they'd be, and as to how they'd actually come off this, is questionable. But it's a nice little kit, and there's quite a lot of detail in it, so that's definitely worth something to build. I've just spotted this in the bottom. This is, what's this? This is an advert for, oh, I see, it's one of those things that you used to find in American paperbacks as well, like a card, and it's basically advertising a magazine that you can subscribe to, and I think part of the subscription is you get a model kit of the Apollo lunar module, by the looks of it, and or maybe it's the command module, it's hard to tell from that, for only 10 cents with a trial membership. Quite how much it is when you've signed up for it, I don't know, but it's interesting finding things like this. It doesn't even say who made the kit. I don't think Hawk ever did this, so maybe Revell or Monogram. It might be a no brand one. It might be one of these ones that was just done like a kind of a giveaway. The kind you used to get inside breakfast cereal. I know there was a set given out in Kellogg's, what cereal was it? I think it was Sugar Smacks in this country. I don't know what they were called in the States. It's the type that are a bit like sugar. I remember I've still got part of one somewhere, but they were tiny. I mean, I don't know what scale they were, but they were like about 1/600 scale or something. They were really tiny. So you might be a bit disappointed if you sent off for this and that's all that came. It doesn't even give you the size of the model, so it all looks a bit sketchy, really. However, that's an interesting thing to have. So yeah, so the cable car, I mean, I'm not going to build it anytime soon, but it's going to be a nice little project to knock up. But I'll have to see if I can get these markings or you know, do something with them to be able to build it. Another interesting thing that I might just throw in on this update, this box here, this is all of the unused parts from the Corvette. So all of this whole box of, you know, there's some dinghies in there, there's all kinds of things. All of this is replaced on the Corvette build. I'll go into a bit more detail about this on the next video for the Corvette. However, it's interesting that the sort of volume of plastic that isn't used. Luckily, I also do some sort of sci-fi stuff as well, and scratch building. So some of these may find their way onto something else in the future, because there's a lot of quite interesting parts here. And you know the story with the likes of ILM, you know, they used to use all these kit parts for detail in their spaceships and things. You know, this thing here, that's the bottom of the dinghy, but it's quite a nice sort of ribbed sort of grill looking set. These parts are nice here. These that's off the radar and the lantern. So there's all kinds of stuff in there. So they will get used at some point somewhere. I've got quite a large Spurs box, so that'll all go into a Spurs box. But as an indication of what you're looking at there, there's the plastic part for the front of the bridge, and then is the brass section that I've just finished soldering. So you can see that, I mean, it's a little bit off scale, this one as well, but all the sort of parts match up. There's still quite a lot of work to do with this, but there'll be more of that in of the Corvette. So so as I said, I maybe just do these videos now and again, just with a bit of a sort of feel for what's going on, and you know what I've picked up, and any other models that I buy, and you know, unboxing videos, or you know, some rarities. I've got quite a lot of rare kits that you just never see these days, so I could let people have a look at those. And the only other thing is I'm going to also start doing some tutorial videos of, you know, just building or various techniques, you know, when I'm building. So, you know, things like painting techniques and weathering and things like that. So how I get on. I'm also working on a 3-camera setup at the moment, so hopefully the 3rd camera will be up and running soon. I did, but the orientation of my bench to the window, the window's in sort of that direction there, and when the sun's out, all I get is a sort of a pattern of the blinds across my face. So that's not ideal. I can't really change the orientation around, so I might have to maybe just shoot those videos at night, maybe. It's not so bright outside, so but we'll look at that for the next video. So as ever, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe or send any questions or anything, and there'll be another Corvette video anytime soon, and I'll just keep plodding on with it. There's an awful lot of stuff still to get through with it, but I feel like I'm making some progress now. So hopefully I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.